The dirty secret of vegetable gardening is that most of what makes it hard is the plant selection. Pick the wrong crops and you spend the whole season fighting. Too thirsty, wrong light, mystery diseases, nothing fruiting on time. Pick the right ones and the garden mostly runs itself while you take all the credit. This video is the second kind. 15 vegetables that are genuinely embarrassingly easy to grow, whether you're brand new, chronically busy, or just honest about how much effort you're actually willing to put in. Stick around, because one of these is the laziest crop on the entire list. You plant it, ignore it for months, and dig it up like buried treasure. It might not be the one you're thinking of. Some vegetables are ready so fast they'll give you a harvest before you've even stopped second-guessing whether you planted them right. These are the ones to start with, especially if you've never grown anything before and you need a win. First up, radishes. Seed to harvest in as little as 20 to 25 days. That's less than a month from planting to eating. You sow them half an inch deep, keep the soil moist, and that's essentially the whole job. They thrive in cool weather, so spring and fall are your windows, and you can succession plant every couple of weeks for a continuous supply. If you've never grown anything and you want to know what it feels like to pull food out of the ground, start here. Next is lettuce, and this one surprises people with how forgiving it is. Scatter seeds on moist soil and press them down lightly. Don't bury them. Lettuce seeds need light to germinate, so shallow is the move. Baby leaves in 3 to 4 weeks. The other thing lettuce has going for it, it handles partial shade. That corner of the garden that doesn't get full sun all day, lettuce actually prefers it in warmer weather. It also grows in containers, window boxes, raised beds, almost anywhere you have a few inches of soil. Spinach follows a similar rhythm. Sow directly in early spring or late summer, harvest baby leaves in as little as 20 to 30 days, full-sized leaves in 40 to 50. It's loaded with nutrients, easy to grow in containers, and thrives in garden spots that other vegetables would reject. The one thing it doesn't tolerate is heat. It bolts fast in summer. Time your plantings for the cool seasons and you'll have no problems. And then there are green onions, which might be the most overlooked vegetable on this entire list. Ready to harvest in 3 to 4 weeks, takes up almost no space. You can tuck them into the edges of existing beds, grow them in a small pot on a windowsill, or scatter them through the garden as companion plants. Here's the best part. You can start them from the root ends of grocery store scallions. Drop them in a glass of water. New growth in days. Transplant into soil for a longer-lasting harvest. Green onions need almost zero attention. Plant them, water occasionally, snip what you need. Once the warm weather arrives, this next group basically runs itself. The only real risk with most of them is not harvesting often enough, and that, it turns out, is its own kind of problem. Zucchini first. And the thing about zucchini is that the biggest challenge isn't growing it, it's dealing with all of it. Each plant starts producing in 45 to 55 days. Once it gets going, you're harvesting every other day. 1 or 2 plants is genuinely enough for most families, and you will still end up leaving bags on your neighbors' porches. Harvest at 6 to 8 inches for the best flavor. Let them go longer and you'll suddenly have a vegetable the size of a small bat. Water at the base to keep powdery mildew off the leaves, and otherwise, just stand back. Green beans are about as foolproof as gardening gets. Direct sow them after your last frost. They don't like to be transplanted, so don't bother. They germinate in 7 to 10 days, and bush varieties start producing in 50 to 60 days. There's a detail about green beans that most people don't know. They fix their own nitrogen. They're literally improving your soil while they grow. Keep picking and they keep producing. Stop picking and they stop. That's the whole secret. Garlic loves heat and rewards consistency. Direct sow in warm soil. Give them something to climb and water regularly, especially once fruits start forming. Growing them vertically on a trellis saves space, improves airflow, and makes harvesting easier. Harvest at 6 to 8 inches. An overripe cucumber left on the vine signals the plant to slow down, so pick frequently. They germinate in 5 to 10 days, and most varieties produce in 50 to 65 days. Swiss chard rounds out this group, and it genuinely deserves more attention than it gets. It handles heat, cold, poor soil, and inconsistent watering better than almost anything else you can grow. Cut the outer leaves and the plant keeps producing from the center for months. The Bright Lights variety has stems in red, yellow, orange, and white. It looks as good in a flower bed as it does in a vegetable patch. Baby leaves in about 30 days. Full size in 50 to 60. Rarely bolts, handles light frost without flinching. Root vegetables have a reputation for being fissy. Most of that reputation is unearned. These ones grow quietly underground while you do almost nothing, and one of them is genuinely the laziest crop on this entire list. Beets are the most underestimated vegetable in this section. People skip them assuming they're complicated. They're not. Sow direct, half an inch deep, thin the seedlings to 3 to 4 inches once they come up, and wait. Most varieties are ready in 50 to 70 days. Here's what makes beets special. They're a 2-for-1 crop. The greens are edible and ready to harvest before the root has even matured. Sautéed with garlic and olive oil, beet greens are genuinely delicious. You're getting 2 harvests from one plant, which is a deal most vegetables don't offer. Carrots are the satisfying slow burn of this group. Direct sow from your last spring frost, stagger plantings every 3 weeks through the growing season, and you'll have a near continuous supply through spring and summer. The main thing carrots teach you is thinning, pulling out seedlings so the others have room to develop properly. It feels counterintuitive at first. Then you pull a thick, properly formed carrot out of the ground and it makes complete sense. Now, potatoes. This is the one I mentioned at the start. You've probably had a potato go forgotten at the back of the pantry. You come back 3 weeks later and it's sprouting eyes, determined to become a plant regardless of your involvement. That stubbornness is the whole ballgame. Cut a sprouted potato into chunks with 1 or 2 eyes each, let them dry for a day, and plant 4 inches deep in loose soil. As the plants grow, mound soil up around the stems. This is called hilling, and it's really the only special attention they need. Then, wait. 70 to 120 days later, you dig. One plant yields 5 to 10 potatoes from a single piece. You can do this in bags, buckets, or straw bales if you don't have garden beds. Harvesting is genuinely exciting. Every shovelful is a surprise. And then there's garlic, the ultimate set-it-and-forget-it crop. Plant individual cloves 2 inches deep in the fall, pointy end up, about 4 to 6 weeks before your first hard frost. Then walk away. Seriously, that's most of the work. Garlic overwinters in the ground, sends up shoots in early spring, and is ready to harvest by early summer. Each clove you plant becomes a full bulb of 8 to 12 new cloves. If you plant hardneck varieties, they produce scapes in spring. Those curly green shoots are delicious in stir-fries and pestos, and most people never even know they exist. These last 4 are the ones people put on the maybe someday list, convinced they need more skill, more space, or more time than they actually have. They don't. Cherry tomatoes first. Not regular tomatoes, cherry tomatoes. The distinction matters. Cherry tomatoes are more disease-resistant, more heat-tolerant, and far more forgiving of inconsistent watering than their larger cousins. Start transplants in the garden after frost. Give them full sun and a cage or stake, and let them go. Most varieties produce ripe fruit in 55 to 70 days from transplant. Water at the base, feed lightly every couple of weeks, and harvest constantly. The more you pick, the more they produce. Some varieties will even self-seed. Volunteer plants pop up the following year without you doing anything. Peppers have a reputation for being tricky to start from seed, and that reputation is at least partially deserved. So sidestep it. Buy transplants from a nursery. Get them in the garden once nighttime temperatures are consistently above 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Give them full sun and well-draining soil, and they're remarkably low maintenance from there. Hot peppers, jalapenos, serranos, cayenne, are practically indestructible and produce heavily with minimal care. Peppers actually fruit better with slightly less water once the fruit starts setting, which for a lazy gardener is very welcome news. Strawberries belong on this list because of what they are underneath: shallow-rooted, low-growing perennials that don't need much and keep coming back. Plant once and harvest for 3 to 5 years. They grow in containers, hanging planters, vertical setups, anywhere you have a bit of soil and some sun. The mother plant sends out runners, long stems with small new plants at the end. Peg those runners into soil and you get free new strawberry plants. Indefinitely. It's one of the few crops in the garden that genuinely multiplies itself. Finally, kale. And this one surprises people. Kale is cold-hardy down to about 10 degrees Fahrenheit. It handles summer heat in many climates. It can run from early spring right through a cold winter. It's a cut-and-come-again crop. Take the lower leaves first, leave the center growing point, and the plant keeps pushing out new growth for months. And here's the detail most people don't know. It actually tastes sweeter after a frost. The cold converts starches to sugars in the leaves, a vegetable that improves with neglect and bad weather. That feels on brand for this list. There's one thing you can do that makes every single vegetable on this list easier to grow. It's not a gadget, not a fertilizer, and it costs almost nothing. Mulch. 3 to 4 inches of organic mulch, straw, shredded leaves, wood chips, lay it around the base of every plant in your garden. Here's what it does. It suppresses weeds, so you spend far less time pulling them. It retains soil moisture, so you water less often. It regulates soil temperature, keeping roots cool in summer and warmer in early spring and fall. And as it breaks down over time, it feeds the soil with organic matter and improves the whole structure of the ground underneath. Pair that with a soaker hose or drip irrigation, and you've effectively automated the two biggest garden chores, watering and weeding. What's left is mostly just harvesting. Heavy mulching turns a high-maintenance garden into a low-maintenance one fast. It's the simplest upgrade you can make, and almost nobody does it aggressively enough. 15 vegetables, every one of them manageable, most of them genuinely forgiving. The thing they have in common is that they're crops designed to work with you rather than against you. And once you've had a season with even a few of them, the garden stops feeling like a chore and starts feeling like a good habit. Which of these are you growing this season? And which one surprised you most? Drop it in the comments. I'm genuinely curious what people are actually starting with. Hit like and subscribe if this was useful. And the next video is already queued up. The algorithm picked it based on what you just watched. Honestly, given what you're clearly interested in, it's probably a good call. It's right there.